to get people to opt in once they're there. Now, hard content, that was a loopy line, wasn't it? Hard content is going to be content that is entirely based around the call to action to opt in. So in this case, you might have an entire video dedicated to a new free guide that you've created about let's just say some kind of mountaineering topic, winter hiking or something. For whatever reason, a lot of the folks who are on your website are interested in hiking or mountain climbing or ice climbing, whatever the case may be, and maybe you have some complete video course or some sort of a white paper or an informational guide that you've put together that'll help folks, to prepare themselves for and gear up for a mountaineering sort of winter trip, in which case you have an entire piece of content essentially dedicated to certainly educating people. It should be of value, okay? It's not a vapid marketing piece that doesn't actually help anybody. This is real content that people can sink their teeth into, but the entire piece of content is wrapped around something that you're going to get them to opt in for. In this case, let's say it's a free report. You could do the same thing where you could have an entire article, an entire video and 800-word article dedicated to the topics you'll be covering in an upcoming webinar and all the experts that are going to be on that webinar. So this might be for some kind of a web event, for example. These are examples of hard content. So it's still very, very much above board, we could say, to post on Facebook and say, hey, check out this video about our new free guide for winter mountaineering. Perfectly kosher. If the article is good stuff, it's relevant to the audience, they're interested in that topic, then it's perfectly fine to post that all day long. But really, of course, part of your objective here is not just to educate, but to be able to garner a lead if someone happens to be interested. Every now and again, it's okay to drive directly to a squeeze page, but generally speaking, we want to be sending to content. You do the same thing from Twitter, you do the same thing from LinkedIn, perchance, or whatever the case may be. On YouTube, at the end of a video, you can mention an article that might be of use. On YouTube, however, because it tends to be a little bit less it's a little bit less fiery when you directly reference a call to action. On YouTube, at the end of your videos, you can very often link directly to some kind of a call to action for an opt-in. So you can say, hey, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a comment below. And down below, we actually have some kind of a checklist for this particular topic. If you're like me and you teach marketing automation, you can say, hey, down below, you can opt in to grab our free 5-strategy guide on marketing automation, right? That's the call to action at the bottom of my own YouTube videos. So that's one example from YouTube. Or from YouTube, at the end of an article or in the description of an article, you can link to blogs. Or at the end of a video, or at the beginning of a video, you can link to your actual blogs. You can mention a piece of content. Again, these sit on your website here. These ones sit on your website. A piece of content that relates to that video. And when people are here reading this article, because they've enjoyed your video so much, they may find themselves opting in. So the commitment that you have to make to yourself, or the regimen that you have to determine for yourself, is how often, once you've picked the social media channels you're willing to commit to, let's say it's just 2 of them, let's say it's Facebook and YouTube, for example, how often will you be posting on those sites? For Facebook, I recommend twice a day. For YouTube, at least once a week, bare minimum once a week. How often will you be posting on those schedules, and to what will you be linking? So let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have an 8 o'clock post that goes to soft content, and I have a 4 o'clock post that goes to hard content. And my other posts on the other days are going to be just video content and images and other fun things that don't necessarily relate to lead gen. For YouTube, you might post twice a week, and you have one of your YouTube videos that links directly to your blog, sends you a little bit of blog traffic, hopefully a little bit of SEO juice there, as well as, again, garnering that traffic to your other content, and then hopefully getting people to opt in. And then maybe your second video of the week references directly a how-to guide that is a real explicit call to action to get people to opt in. So determining your regimen means which opt-in opportunities are you going to build down here? Is it all going to be newsletters, free guides, etc.? And how often are you going to be driving from each social channel to which kind of content? So long as you are consistently driving traffic to either of these, hard or soft content, or directly to an opt-in. And so long as that's a legitimate regimen, you will consistently garner leads from social media, particularly if you can get yourself a little bit of a kickstart early on. If you have an email list, you can send them to your Twitter handle and tell them to follow you, or send them to your Facebook page or whatever. But even beginning organically, this is how we quote unquote roll the snowball and build a legitimate social media presence for ourselves. So once you determine that regimen, let's say twice a day on Facebook, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like we said, soft content in the morning, hard content in the evening. The rest of your days, let's say you just send to videos or other people's articles, or interesting images or something along those lines. That could be one portion of it. So whatever your regimen is that you actually determine, then we have to set in place some kind of a system to track it. This is as easy as some kind of a Google spreadsheet, whereby you would have, Facebook, regimen executed for X week. And then each one of your rows would be labeled with the day that week started or ended on. And then week over week, someone would either put a 1 or a 0 in that cell to signify if they've actually done that. At which point, once you can coach somebody through the process of creating this content, of posting regularly on social media, you can actually hand off the process of social media entirely to someone on your team. And you'll know that they're working consistently on a strategy that not only will help you look professional and will build your organic social media presence, but will drive leads for your business. So once you've made these critical decisions and commitments, the goal is then to turn it into a system that you can track and to ultimately delegate this process to someone on your team who can really handle it and manage it. So this is one basic strategy, one basic lens for social media lead generation. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, how you've implemented similar systems for sort of regimens of social media, and maybe what else you're doing to generate leads on social media as well. I want you to be able to hop in and join the conversation. I appreciate you tuned in here on CLV Boost, and I will catch you in the next video.